Well, guys, I told you I would share the recovery protocols for the shoulder injury. So here we are. I got loads of questions on this when I put it in my story on Instagram. So said I would share because loads of you were asking. I think that's it's an ironic thing to say because most coaches and influencers and people open with, I always get asked, and they don't get asked anything. But I actually get asked loads of questions. So here we are, sharing it. BPC 1500, TB500 and other bits and pieces. So just over 2 weeks ago now, had an intramuscular tear in my teres minor. Initially, I thought this was going to be a disaster. It was really painful. I had no movement, like I couldn't move my arm at all. So majorly concerned. And thankfully it turned out just to be an intramuscular tear. The teres minor MRI was good, and then the shoulder specialist was happy with what he seen, so that was positive. Initially, I thought it was going to be really bad. I'd never had an MRI before, so that just shows you I'm quite a resilient person when it comes to injuries and training, and it was the first time I actually got properly hurt. So I'm thankful we're in the position we are now. I'm back training, and it wasn't as bad as it first seemed, but a lot of that is down to what I have done with these peptides. I truly believe this protocol I'm going to share with you is what I've used before many times. I want to start by saying none of this is medical advice. I am not a doctor or a practitioner of any sort. So this is not advice. This is just what I have done, how I do things, and how people that work with me have done things before. So the protocols used, this is the way I run this with any time I've had an injury before, or any clients have had injuries. This is the protocols we've used. There's a ton of ways of doing this, and we might speak to another coach who does it this way, or another athlete does it that way. I wouldn't say there's any right or wrong answer as such. The only thing we can do as coaches and athletes is with stuff like this, there's not a lot of heavily researched data out there on BPC 157 or TB500, so it's hard to get good evidence-based data on it. So as a coach, what we have to do to learn more about these things is collect our own data, and that's what I've done. And this is the first time I've done a video on this or shared any knowledge about it, because it's the first time I felt comfortable actually saying that what I've done has worked, and it's worked a few times with multiple people. So here we are. Now how I've run things this time, or it's slightly different to how I normally would run it, but I'll explain why now. So how I would normally run this peptide schedule is first 5 days following injury straight away is 1000 milligrams BPC 157 per day. Do that for 5 days. You'll then reduce that dosage to 750. Do that for 5 days. 500 milligrams for 5 days, and then 250 for 5 days, and taper off when you feel you have recovered to your adequate happiness. It's up to you then as the person to know your body or know your client or whatever, and just assess the injury as you're going through those dosage schedules. TB500 then, 5 milligrams every second day for 10 days is what I'll do. And again, you might have success, there's other ways, but any data I have seen or read about, sways towards the fact this only works at a high dose, and it only works for a very acute period of time following the actual injury itself. Now there's loads of other data that I've found surrounding TB500 and the neural system, and I spoke to a guy today, and he's used it for different things. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know enough about it, and I'm going to just research that soon. But anybody with motor neurons disease or anything, TB500 would be something worth looking into. BPC 157 then, not to go too off topic, but from an oral standpoint, is very, very good for digestion. So if you've maybe Crohn's or celiac or things like that, obviously if your diet is in check, or maybe if you just have fucking bad digestion in general, if your diet's in check, BPC 157 could be helpful. Don't be like a celiac or someone that can't handle gluten well or dairy and still have that and go take BPC and be like, oh, it didn't work. Make sure you're doing all you can first of all before adding things in. Same with injuries, guys. BPC 157 and TB500 are amazing, but amazing alongside a proper rehab proper nutrition, and a proper mindset. I think that's something important with being injured, is the mindset. You know, you have two choices when you get hurt. Like initially when this happened, I was so upset and annoyed, but you know, after speaking with the coach, after speaking with my wife, what are you going to do? You know, you can cry and bitch and moan or get on with it. So you have those two choices. And when you're injured as well, it's very easy to let things fall on the wayside training wise. You know, I just tore something in my rotator cuff. There's still loads of other stuff I could do. So maybe if you tear your bicep, you know, there's always something you can do. So don't focus what you can't do. There's always something you can be doing. And if you have a positive mindset, you know, towards recovery, if you tell yourself, right, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I know I'll be better. Like I knew I would be ready for whatever comps that I really wanted to be ready for. And I told myself, like, this protocol is working, I can feel myself getting better. And I just kept every day, you know, forward motion. Because if you just sit there and cry about it and bitch and moan, your body will feed off that energy. You know, it sounds cliche, but it's 100% true. You can really talk yourself into a more negative spiral. So that's a side note. If you're injured, mindset's key. Be positive towards that, and just don't dwell too much on it. So the protocol I use this time, a little bit different to what I've just talked about before, but it touches on what I've said. So when you're going through those dosages, you just need to sort of assess where you're at with your injury. And this will just come with experience, obviously, and knowing where you are throughout certain periods of recovery. Or maybe if you have someone that works with you who'll know better. So after 5 days of 1,000, I knew this was a pretty bad injury, so I knew it would have took a while longer than normal. I don't think I've ever ran BPC for more than 2 weeks at a high dose and had to keep it there. But anyway, after 5 days of 1,000, I had more range of motion, but not enough that I was happy with. So I was like, right, I'll just keep the dose up here. We were on holidays for a week then, so I took it with me, kept that dosage really high, came back. Progress was like here then. When I was on holidays, I'm a liar actually, I could do a wee bit in the gym. I mean like 5 kilo dumbbells. So I kept the 1,000 milligram dosage for 2 weeks. And then 4 days ago, we've tapered down now to 750. And it's, you know what, it's way better. I've got a good bit of training done. I'm obviously still in pain when I'm training. I'm definitely not back to 100%. But I'm way ahead of where I thought I would be. Some things still hurt. I can't do a dead hang. Like I can't hang from there at all. Picking stones from the ground today was painful. Sandbag picks were painful. There's still loads of things that are painful. Anything with my lat at full length, like a dumbbell, I can't do that. I wouldn't even chance doing a dumbbell row. I could do some cable rows because it's more controlled tension than a dumbbell. But yeah, progress has been good. TB500 out now altogether. I have also, now I run growth hormone year round. So I have also been taking human growth hormone alongside this straight into the area. I didn't take that in holidays with me though, because I just couldn't get into the country obviously, but that's not something I'm going to share the dosage on. I just don't like doing that. I think it's just reckless sometimes. If you want to speak to me privately about it, by all means reach out and I'll help. But for me to share information like that on socials, I just personally think it's reckless, because even if I say don't take this, some guy out there will take it. But yeah, so 1,000 milligrams a day for 2 weeks. I ran the BPC at TB500, 5 milligrams every other day for 10 days. And that's just finished up actually. Today was my last shot of that. So, and the growth hormone will stay in there. As I said, growth hormone stays in for me year round. But I just changed the dosage and I'm putting it straight into the area. Whether putting it straight into the area has benefit with growth hormone, I actually don't know. So I'm not going to come on here and say that I have a good data that says, well, I suppose I do myself, but it's just in my head, like if it's going to the injury area, it's going to work there better. I don't know if it does or not. It could just, if it goes sub Q as normal, probably, I don't know. But so yeah, that's the protocol I've used this time for BPC 157. I tried to not blab on there. I fucking always blab on. But so anybody else, my protocol, my go-to protocol, 5 days 1,000 milligrams a day, 5 days 750, 5 days 500, 5 days 250, and then taper off accordingly. Now again, if you're experienced or you know your body or you're not happy with your assessment of your injury, Keep it at 1,000 for longer, keep it at 750 for longer, or whatever. And again, please feel free in the comments to share your views, share your experiences, ask any questions. I am by no means an expert in this subject, I suppose. I have a lot of experience with these peptides, but again, there's not a lot of, why I've shared this video as well, there's not a lot of data out there that can help with these sorts of things for people who don't know. It's not a widely researched thing. So it's our duty as good coaches or experienced athletes to share our experiences, because this is the data we have. So as a coach, that's what coaching is, that's what science is: collecting data, reviewing it, collecting data again, just trying it, rinse and repeat. And this is why I'm sharing this content now, because it's the first time I felt comfortable to say, you know what, I've got a lot of data now supporting what I'm saying, and this has worked tons of times. But again, I'm not saying this is the way to take it. This is the way I like taking it. This is the way I've got results with myself and other people. It definitely works. But as I say, share your views in the comments, guys. Share your experiences. Any questions, feel free to shoot me a message, put them in the comments. And if you've enjoyed the video, I appreciate it. Please like it, subscribe. We're really going to try and push the YouTube thing this year now. I've never really got on that bandwagon, but I'm going to try now. So please hit me up, and for more educational strongman and nutritional content, give me a follow on Instagram at MK Coaching. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it was helpful. See you next time.